Sudden death of Chesley Christ is prompting a much-needed conversation. Now, while we don't know exactly what she was dealing with, we do know that many are struggling right now with a sense of hopelessness. Here for some practical tools for mental wellness, we're joined right now by Dr. Caroline Leaf, a communication pathologist and cognitive neuroscientist. Good morning to you, Dr. Leaf. I'm happy you're here. I know you've studied the brain for decades, and you know how negative thoughts can affect our brain. What exactly do toxic thoughts, suicidal thoughts, or harmful thoughts do?
Well, there's a key thing that Chesley said in one of her notes. She talks about internalizing societal pressures, and that's really a good word to explain this. So I'm going to use some props, Adrienne, because it just is so much easier. Here's the brain, and here is a green tree. And every single thing that you experience becomes a physical structural change inside of your brain. So with our mind, we process life into our brain, into these trees. Now, this tree-like thought structures that look like trees. Now, where this is okay if it's healthy, but what happens if we have these internalized pressures, like Chelsea explained, how she said so clearly that all the pressure of just everything around her being a woman of color, of achieving, of everyone looking to her and seeing she's amazing, and then just all their comments online, every single thing. Notice here that this looks different to the green tree. All of those are being internalized. We internalize as humans, we're internalizing our experiences. And if we don't manage these, this looks different in the brain to something healthy. Right. This is going to create a tremendous amount of mental mess. Now, all of us, I have to stress that every single human on the planet battles with mental health. This is a very normal situation. It can get extreme and can accumulate and become extreme. And when these become extreme, they explode. And if we don't manage this, if we don't manage our mental messes, giving us permission to be messy, but also managing it, we can get ourselves caught up and who knows what. That doesn't go without saying that when it comes to suicide, I have worked a lot with people who have survived suicide attempts as well. And what they say are things like, it feels like that you're on top of a building and behind you the building is burning. And in front of you, if you jump off, it's you're going to die. But which is the life behind you is that they don't want you. But the fire behind is too much. Yeah. It's so consuming that, what is the option kind of thing. So it's really...
It's dire. It's more common than sometimes we realize. You have five steps that people should use to maybe rewire their thinking in a moment of hopelessness or depression. Can you share those with us?
Absolutely. It's basically a mind-directed process where we've got to rewire the brain. So our mind changes the brain, mind being separate from brain, but works with the brain. So essentially what we need to do is, this is a lifestyle. This is not going to just be a one-off thing. And what we see is changes in the brain take cycles of 63 days. So basically you do these 5 steps over cycles of 63 days. And that doesn't mean that you're going to get things fixed in 63 days. It just means that that's the time it's going to take to change something, where a behavior change, where you'll feel more in control, etc., etc. I've had some patients that have taken 2 years or 3 years of working in these cycles. But the point is that you can manage it yourself. We are a lot more resilient than what we actually realize. And what we need to do in society today is help each other manage our minds. Not just say, I've got a mental health issue, but tell each other it's okay to be a mess. We're all a mess. All of us are battling. And we need to take that mental mess and we need to become aware of it and go beyond. So the neurocycle, the 5 steps of the neurocycle, take us beyond to the sort of meditation, breathing, and those kind of things which prepare the brain, and beyond into how can I actually, this has happened to me, what can I do about it? So it's a very deliberate and intentional taking control and changing the structure of the brain, and then the brain will change the structure of the body, influence how the body cells of the body function, and that collaboration between mind, brain, and body over time helps us to manage the struggles, so that we don't basically explode or get to extreme points. And we've got to help each other. We've got the people that that die by suicide. People often ask me, what are the signs? What are the symptoms? But sometimes the people that say the least, those are the ones that shock us the most. And this is what we see in this situation.
Yes, we
people
have to
that
watch
talk
the
about
quiet
it.
Ones.
We have to watch the quiet ones,
Yes.
and we all have to give ourselves permission to be messy and work together as a society. We put so much pressure. I work with a lot of celebrities, and get a lot of pressure. They get a lot of pressure being put on them to be perfect, to have this veneer, and then we got all shocked. We've got to get into the core, being human.
We definitely can't isolate. Dr. Caroline Leaf, thank you so much for being with us. You can find more on her
My
Instagram
pleasure.
page or website. And if you or someone you know needs help, call 1-800-273-TALK or visit suicidepreventionlifeline.org. Still ahead. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.